Have you ever wondered about the mineral buffet? Well, today I'm going to show you how we build ours. Hey friends, welcome back to A Pastured Forest Homestead. I'm Hannah, and today I'm going to show you how we build our mineral buffet for the goats. I cut these boards. They are 38 inches. We have 2 boards at 38 and 2 boards at 12.5 inches. And this is going to be the frame, the box that the mineral feeder containers will sit in. We're going to put our pocket holes on these long boards, both sides, both boards. So glad that I went with the Craig jig that has the self-clamping feature. That way I can move quicker through projects. Well worth the extra money. Be careful when you put your pocket holes in that you're putting them on the same side. I know in the past I've accidentally put one on this side and then one on this side, so make sure that you've got the same side. All these things that you learn as you go. So we have our holes ready. Now we can start screwing everything together. And I find that if you screw these in too much, your joint will be wiggly. I'm sure there's a better way than just standing it up like this, but I don't have clamps. So I'm just working with what I have. You could adjust the measurements for this if you wanted to have more or less cups. This will hold 10 cups long by 2 cups deep of those chicken food cup things that I use. I'll put all the links in the description of the supplies that I use to build this. I'm sure all the real builders are cringing. I'm sure there's a better way, but like I said, this is how I'm doing it. Would help if I had a flatter table. In the end, I get things done and learn a little bit more each time. Hopefully I'll be more efficient in time to come. So I bought like a 50 pack of these chicken feeder cups off Amazon, and they fit in here 2 deep like this, interconnecting. In the past I've put a bunch of boards on the bottom, but this time I want to try and use this hardware cloth. So if minerals get tipped over, it's not just making a big mess. I really dislike cutting hardware cloth, so if you have any tips on an easier way, part of it is every time I squeeze my cutters, I have to manually pull them apart. So maybe if I didn't have to do that, it would be less of a painful job. Oh, success. Finally. 5 years later, we've got our wire cut. And now we can staple that on. Okay, but you gotta give it back when I need it, okay? I need it in 5 minutes.
I want to use it.
I have this furring strip that I'm going to run down the bottom just for added support. I'm not sure that the hardware cloth is strong enough to hold all the minerals. Okay, now what we need to do is cut some legs, and we're gonna put some cattle panel and bend the cattle panel. That way they have to put their head through in order to get to the minerals. That way they don't jump up on top of it, and it lessens them from making it messy. For these legs, we're also going to add in some pocket holes on either end of the leg, because I'm gonna take and put the legs on another board. That way it's a little bit more secure, and if I'm having to move things around. Four legs, pocket holes on each side, 12 inches long. I have the scrap of cattle panel, and we're going to be using it the same width that it is. This is roughly 55 inches, which works out perfectly to wrap around the sides of our mineral feeder. I'm going to be trimming right about here and leaving a 1/2 inch for that cattle panel wire to get put into the wood. And then we're going to have 4 of the rectangles, so I have to trim this, cut it in about half. So we have the small section on the bottom with a little bit of metal sticking down. That's going to go into the 2x4. And then 1, 2, 3 full-size rectangles. And then we'll cut here. Our mineral feeder box is 41 inches wide. And the section here between these last end posts is 40 inches roughly. So what we're going to do is bend these end pieces to be straight back. The easiest way to do that is to take a 2x4, place it where you want it to have the bend, stand on it, and then lift up. So now I'm going to take this cattle panel and I'm going to line it up the best I can and mark where I need to drill, because I want to put this end down into the 2x4s a little bit. When you're choosing which drill bit, you want to make sure that it's big enough that when you have your hole, your cattle panel will slide down in that hole but not be too loose. I'm going to try a 1/4 inch drill bit. And you don't have to go very far. Because they're not that big. You could also put a piece of tape on your drill bit so you know that you're not going in too deep. That's how I did our barn gates. So now we have to mark where we need to drill these side pieces. When you're marking these side pieces, it's going to be hard to get your front in the holes that you've already made, because this is going to be hitting up against this board. But thankfully these you can bend, so just do the best that you can with marking them. Once you have the cattle panel part added, I added these fence staples to the bottom to hold it in place. I'm going to put another part of this furring strip on the inside. This is just going to rest on top. They have a tendency to somehow knock the containers over, and I think just a little bit of this wood sitting on top is going to help the containers not be falling in. We are going to attach our legs and then do this furring strip, and it should be done. Great, now that we have the legs on, it's pretty much done.
Originally, when I started with the mineral buffet, I ordered my minerals through Little Avalon Farm, and they provide the minerals in a smaller quantity. You can buy in, say, like 1 pound bags. But then when we had our cow, I was needing a larger amount, and I went straight to Free Choice Enterprises and bought my minerals through them. Then, of course, we sold the cow, as I shared in a previous video, and I was left with a whole bunch of minerals. And now, as I'm going through the minerals and using them up, I just purchased a single bag from Free Choice Enterprises.
This little piece should help to keep all the containers in place, and it's not blocking them, so the goats will still be able to get to the minerals. You want it to be snug so that things aren't shifting around too much. The last thing that I like doing is wood burning the labels, so I know which compartment has which mineral. So first I just write with pencil, and then I'll go over it with my wood burner. And this is actually the front. This part's going to be against the wall, so I want to make sure that I can read it from this direction. I've tried other methods of adding labels, and I like the wood burning because it lasts. I tried using pen, I used tape and wrote on it, and those all seem to fade away. If you take your time and do this a little bit, you won't have to redo it. Now that all the labels are wood burned on here, all I have to do is take it up to the goats and fill up the containers with the minerals. I'm going to add in a couple screws just so they don't tip this thing over, because knowing goats, they're gonna do what they can to destroy what you've made. We store the minerals in these 5-gallon buckets, and then we have smaller containers that stay with the goats. So these minerals are gonna go up with our buck and wether, and instead of going back and having to open these buckets every time I need to refill, it's just easier to keep a little bit of mineral in one of these. I first learned about doing this mineral buffet after watching a Greg Judy video. Basically the goats, cows, sheep, they will eat. They know what they need, and the idea is that they'll eat the minerals that they know that their body needs. And it's really fascinating to see how sometimes they're hitting one mineral harder than another. Some days they're doing a lot of boron, or selenium is one that they do a lot. Selenium and boron, cobalt, copper, those are ones that are regularly used. But it changes based on which goat. I've gotten new goats in that eat completely different minerals, and then once they've been here a while, they go and they'll start doing the ones that everybody's eating. All I've done is put some tape, and I've written what mineral is in these. I've done it on the side of the container and on the lid. I'm thinking of keeping these in like a storage tote. That way I can easily get to them. And that way the goats don't get to them either. I am buried in buckets now. Hey, stay away. Now we just have to fill up the mineral feeders. I only give them a little bit at a time because they tend to get it dirty somehow, and I feel like they like it better when it's fresh. So since I've only got 2 goats up here, I'm just putting a tiny little bit in. And if I notice that they're eating a mineral more than another, then I'll just fill that one up extra. But for right now, just to see what they're eating the most, I'm just gonna add a little bit. Augie is going for the MO first. Is that good? Is that good, buddy? Is that good? So once in a while, I will dump out any minerals that have gotten kind of dirty and refill them. I keep an eye on the minerals every day. I just do a quick check and see if anything needs to be added, and it's not all the minerals at once, so it usually doesn't take that long. I have a bunch to do today because I did a clean out. Hi, little bub. Hi, little bub. You want some minerals too? You're making me tip it over. Hold on, buddy. So currently they've been hitting the boron and cobalt. I can't work with you, buddy. I'm trying to do this. You don't make this easier. If you don't currently have goats, be prepared for this kind of attention. You'll be so loved by the babies. Hold on, coffee. I like keeping the minerals in these containers, the smaller containers, because it does make it easier to refill as needed. Not having to go into the big 5-gallon buckets every day, or even once a week. I usually check them all out and see what they need, and then they'll start eating the one that they want. It's so interesting to watch. So see, Ollie's hitting that boron. This mineral buffet has been a great addition to our goat care routine, giving them the ability to balance their nutrition. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe for more homesteading and goat care content. Let us know in the comments if you have any questions. Until next time, happy homesteading.